Hi again, everybody. Jeff Joniak and Tom Thayer with you here at PNC Studios at Hallis Hall, getting you set for Bears Monday Night Football in Foxborough at Gillette Stadium. That means Bill Belicheck and the New England Patriots for Week 7. This is game preview, and there's a lot to discuss. Let's start with the Bears, though. The review from Matt Eberflus coming out this week. Each player is not going to say details, not going to give away scheme, but the emphasis is, okay, they're doing some good things. Keep doing those good things, make them better. But the things that need to be worked on are kind of obvious. The pass offense and the run defense.
Yeah, you know, every player is never a finished product unless you're John Elway, that you win the Super Bowl and then you leave everybody wanting more. Right. and that's the thing about it is, you know, if they're going to point out what they would like you to work on throughout the course of your career, they're only looking to make you a better football player. And I think every one of these guys should not take exemption to that, because that's the way the team is going to get better ultimately. So I always like the approach of Matt Eberflus right now. He's got more concerns about these guys getting better, so their segments get better, so the team gets better.
Yeah, but they know what they have to do individually, too, even beyond what the coach, they know. They know, just like you knew as a player. You knew, you got nervous, so sweating back of your head, right? You started pitting out, worried about what was going to happen.
Well, Dick Stanfield, our offensive line coach, he always used to say, look, you eventually have to start coaching yourselves.
Yeah.
I can only help you so much, but you have to start recognizing things, too, and I think that's the same case in this era.
All right, let's break it down a little bit from our perspective. Let's look at the running game, because that's been very good. You got a two-horse attack here. Matt Eberflus saying you're going to go with the hot hand in the game. David Montgomery, Khalil Herbert. Herbert's been very productive. David did miss one game, so the numbers are a little bit down, but he is as rugged as they come. The spins, the moves, the hustle, the pass receptions. Both of these guys probably be utilized a little bit more moving forward in that aspect of the game.
Well, I hope they are, because, you know, if you look at a couple plays from the game, Dave Montgomery lined up to the right hip of Justin Fields, both in shotgun, and it was an immediate pitch to Dave Montgomery. Now, Dave Montgomery is already outside the numbers in space with third-level tacklers in front of him. These guys aren't volunteering to hit David Montgomery, and Dave Montgomery's volunteering to run over them. So if you can put him in that space, Jeff, in a running play, it takes away a little bit of that interior emphasis. And then that pass at the end of the game that they threw to David Montgomery lined up as a wide receiver. Again, you're outside the number, ball in your hand, you're facing third-level tacklers. So with Khalil Herbert, Dave Montgomery, getting those guys outside as much as you possibly can in plays like that, I think you're looking for yards.
You can't avoid the pass protection, what's going on, and Matt Eberflus emphasizing it is all 11. There are aspects of it. There's responsibilities across the board, but it does fall on the burden and the shoulders of the offensive line. What is your perspective on that? And as it interrelates with Justin Fields in terms of timing, rhythm, getting rid of the ball on time, getting rid of it to avoid a sack, and kind of limit those hits, because the hits are piling up. When you take his rushes and getting sacked, not including quarterback hits, it's about 13 times a game so far.
But he rarely gets sacked in play-action passing. So here we talk about how well the Bears run the ball. That's the biggest influence that you can possibly have to help your pass protection. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the mobility of Justin Fields, and everything is going to be play-action. That means your offensive line gets to attack at the line of scrimmage. They're not dropping back and waiting for a better pass rusher to come at me than I am backpedaling. So the way that I help the offensive line is after running the ball, it's play action. And then I run it again. I run it until they're blue in the face. And that gives you a chance for your offensive line to be aggressive pass blockers instead of passive pass blockers.
On the other side of the coin, the Bears ranked third in the NFL in pass defense. Now, teams have run the ball a lot in volume and have had some success. Bears got to fix that. That's certainly a big emphasis in the second half, and they're going to deal with it with New England. They're going to keep New England focuses on what you don't do well.
Yep.
They hammer you, and they try to take away what you do well. That's Bill Belichick. And frankly, that is a lot of schemes and coaches in the NFL, but he does a great job of it. So Ramondre Stevenson, a top 10 back right now in rushing and up there in yards from scrimmage in terms of top 30 in the NFL with all players included.
Yeah, you know, that's the one thing about Belichick. Whether it's offense or defense, he's always going to pick where your vulnerabilities lie, and he's going to attack them. And yeah, they're confident running the ball. They got big offensive tackles. They have a good running game with a couple of guys there. they're kind of in a weird position with the quarterback because they went and drafted Mac Jones and they kind of feel like he could be the quarterback of the future. And then they bring in
Bailey Zappi. And he's got everybody. They're scoring.
What a name. But anyways.
2 years ago, he's at Houston Baptist. 1 year, Western Kentucky. Bam, he's with Bill Belichick's Patriots. And look what's going on with Matt Patricia calling plays.
It's like Brady being a fifth rounder. Then all of a sudden you take over for Drew Bledsoe. You never know what the quarterback position is going to look like again in New England after Mac Jones comes back. Is this guy going to endear himself so much to the play caller, the production, and the offense that you can't take him out of the lineup? It'll be interesting to see, but I got to believe he'll be there Monday night for New England.
And then you got the defense. Dietrich Wise, very good football player. He's got 5 sacks. You got Matthew Judon. His 2 years after leaving Baltimore, getting pressure on the passer, getting sacks. They, too, have had some issues at times stopping the run, but they've improved. It's a whole idea of keeping Justin in the pocket. I read this weeks ago from the start. They want to keep that quarterback in the pocket. Doesn't matter what kind of quarterback it is.
Yeah, but first of all, I'm going to go in there like we talked about at the beginning of this, that we're going to run the ball with Dave Montgomery and Khalil Herbert, and we're going to run it at them, and we're going to take some spark out of that defense. We are going to get those 4 and 5 yards of carry repetitively enough that you're going to get first downs. And then Justin's never going to be in the same place twice. I am not going to give an indicator to their defensive coordinator that if we put all the emphasis in getting to this spot, Justin will be there waiting for us. It's not going to happen.
All right, it's a crazy stat, but first or second round picks are in their first round quarterbacks in their first or second season, 1 in 25 at Gillette Stadium against this outfit. What do you think of that? Just numbers?
Listen, all these numbers that we see, it's the Tom Brady era, and there was nobody better at home than Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. This is the first time that I've been preparing for the New England Patriots as a broadcaster, and I don't have that fear of, oh my God, how much are we going to lose by? I think the Bears have to go in there and say, you know what? We're going to go toe-to-toe with this team. We're going to fight them for every inch of this field. We're going to make a big play on special teams, and we're going to win this game on national TV. Because they should have put themselves in position to win the Giants game. They should have put themselves in position to win Minnesota. They should have put themselves in position to beat the Washington, and it just doesn't roll off your tongue, and the Commanders. And so I would feel the same way going into New England. You got to make sure your team's ready to go here and win this game. And
there's a certain aura, obviously, about that place when you walk in there and the guy on the other sideline. However, there's fight in this Bears team. They're never going to be any different this year. I am convinced they will fight you tooth and nail, and the league is that way right now. It's a one-score league, pretty much, so I'm betting on the Bears' guile and resilience to really make it an interesting football game. With that being said, who are we watching on offense? What's your guy this week?
For me, if I'm going to watch anybody on offense, it's probably going to be the receiver, Montgomery, Khalil Herbert. Because I do think if you really want to make the game plan safer for Justin, get the ball out of his hands to those edges, and then you start spreading the defense out because of their responsibility. I think be as productive as they are as running backs, I think they can be equally as productive as pass catchers.
Well, I'm going to steal one in that same vein. It's Cole Kmet. I think I come up here every week thinking, okay, this is going to be a good one for Cole Kmet. And I'm going to go that direction again. He's their third down leader in receptions this year. 10 overall, 6 on third down. He's a chain mover. I'm going up against a New England team that is really good at limiting what you get on first downs. They're 5th best in the league in limiting the number of first downs. How about on defense for you?
If I'm going to look at anybody, I need to see a big bounce-back game from Roquan Smith. I know he's making tackles all over the field.
Number one in the NFC.
Number one in the NFC. But I need to see him be a difference maker. You see him when he's allowed to blitz, he can get to the quarterback. This quarterback is not the fastest quarterback. He can be chased down by defensive speed. I think if you allow him to play and ask him to play with a little faster recognition, you're talking about tackles for loss or minimum gain running tackles. He's going to have to play really good against this quarterback and running back because they both do a nice job. They got some elusiveness about them, and I think Roquan is the type of guy that needs to come back from that Washington game on national TV and have the game that he's betting on.
All right, on the defensive side of the ball, I'm going to stick with Kyler Gordon. There's advancement in his play, especially tackling against the run. He's got to be as physical as can be because you know those guys are going to be. And whether that's the running game, which he's helped out with, or the receivers, these are not big-name receivers, but they get the job done. Jacoby Myers, Devontae Parker has been with the Miami Dolphins for a long time, dangerous on the slant. You got guys that, with the right scheme and the right moments in the game, could be somewhat of a problem for you if you don't slow things down. So make sure they don't get a lot of yards after the catch. Bring them down because they're probably going to circle you a little bit and see what you got. Other teams have tried it. He's getting better. I'm going with Kyler Gordon.
If you're going to go with the Kyler Gordon defensive back, you better watch long crossing routes because that's what New England wants to do. They're going to get a receiver on the opposite side of the field. They're going to go up. They're going to get a long crossing route. You're going to see separation from the defensive back, easy read and throw for the quarterback.
Not if he has time.
If you stop those crossing routes, if you stop the crossing routes, you're going to slow their offense considerably.
All right, we hope you join us on the radio on Monday night. Our pregame coverage at 4:20, kickoff at 7:20 from Gillette Stadium out in Foxborough, where the leaves should be looking good. But Monday Night Football,
I'm here for a Bears win. I can look out the window and see leaves.
That's Tom Thayer. I'm Jeff Joniak. Thanks for watching.